You're easy to fire. Why? Not because you didn't do hard work, not because you're not smart, but because every time you open your mouth or send an email, you sound, quite frankly, replaceable. And replaceable people get replaced. In this video, I'll show you how to flip that. Today, I'll introduce you through what I call the executive language matrix and how to start shifting the way you speak so leaders stop seeing you as a tactical doer and start seeing you as the strategic leader we can't lose. If you've been in your role for 5 to 10 years, here's what's probably true. You know more than most people in the room. You're the one who keeps projects moving. But when leadership talks about you, they don't say, this person is critical. They say, yeah, they're solid. They get stuff done. That sounds like a compliment. In layoff year, it's not. Behind the scenes, leadership gets people into two rough buckets. I'll call the first nervous juniors. They sound insecure, apologetic, buried in details, always doing. And protected operators. They sound clear, decisive, focused on outcomes, always directing. The painful part, you can be operating at a senior level, but if your language is still in the nervous junior bucket, you get treated like one. Think of the matrix as 9 common patterns where junior language and executive language are basically opposites. What I want you to notice now is this. You're perceived as a nervous junior if you use the words on the left side, but you shift to a protected operator if you go to the right side. Same person, same brain, same work. But if you stay on the left side on how you talk, you'll keep sounding expendable, especially in a year where leadership is looking for reasons to cut. Now I'm going to go deeper on 3 of these patterns that I see most often. And as we go, listen for yourself in the junior examples if even one of those sounds like you. You've got a huge opportunity to change how seniors see you in the next 30 days. Let's start with effort. Nervous juniors consistently sell their effort. Protected operators sell their outcomes. Here's what order taker language sounds like. We worked really hard on this deck. I spent a lot of time pulling this data together. We've been super busy trying to get this over the line. You can hear the subtext. Please value me because I tried. Executives don't make decisions based on how hard you tried. They make decisions based on, did this move the business? Polished operators talk like this instead. Here's the one decision we need from you today. They reduced cycle time by 18% last quarter. This will unblock 3 teams and free up about 40 hours a week. Same work, different perception. Now notice how this connects to passive versus active in detail. Junior effort language loves passive voice and fluff. A lot of work was done to make sure this was completed on time. By who? To what end? Executives don't have time to decode this. Executive outcome language is active and direct. My team shipped this 2 weeks early, which means finance can close the quarter without manual workarounds. Clear subject, clear verb, clear impact. If you catch yourself talking about how busy you are, how hard something was, how many hours you put in, stop, ask, so what? What outcome did this create that my executive would actually care about? That one action alone moves you closer to this person thinks like us. The second pattern, vague, passive language versus specific ownership. Here's the junior version you hear in almost every status meeting. There were some issues. It was decided that we're going to push the launch. Some work is being done to address the risk. This is passive voice plus vagueness. Nobody is responsible. Nothing is clear. And you sound like you're reporting from the sidelines. Executives protect people who sound like they're on the field. Protected operators talk in specific, owned language. We hit a blocker with vendor approvals. I pushed the launch by 1 week and aligned with legal and sales yesterday. I recommended we delay by a week to avoid a bad launch. Here's the revised date and the 3 things we'll complete in that time. My team is addressing the 2 biggest risks, vendor approvals and data quality. Here's where each one stands as of this morning. Notice 3 things. Active voice. I recommended. I recommended. My team is addressing. I pushed. Specifics. Who, what, when. Without 5 paragraphs of backstory. Ownership. You're in the sentence. Not hiding behind, it was decided. Passive voice is one of the fastest ways to sound junior and disposable. Mistakes were made. Some work is being done. It was felt that. If you hear that in your own writing or speech, that's a red flag. It sounds safer. I don't want to blame anyone. But what you're really telling leadership is, I'm not the one driving this. I'm just here to report. In an AI-driven world where a bot can report out status, you don't want to sound like a reporting bot. You want to sound like a human making calls. So, as a simple rule, put a clear subject in your sentences. Use active verbs: decided, recommended, escalated, shipped, blocked, unblocked, a concrete date, one number, one owner. That's what specific ownership sounds like. Pro tip: you can use ChatGPT to help you with this by pasting your text in and asking it to identify whether you're an active or passive voice. Then ask it for some help fixing it. This can be your safety net as you learned. The third pattern is where a lot of mid-career professionals die politically: the detail trap. Here's how the detail trap works. You care about your work. You want people to understand it. So when your VP asks, "Where are we with this?" you give them the full story. Okay, so 3 months ago, we started this migration, and the original plan was A, but then by sentence 4, they stopped listening. You're not being judged on how fully you can explain the project. You're being judged on how quickly you can help them make a decision. Nervous juniors talk detail first. Let me walk you through the background. There's a lot of complexity here, so I'll start from the beginning. Protected operators talk decision first, then detail if needed. We're on track for April 15th launch. The only decision we need from you today is whether to accept a 2% performance hit to avoid a 3-week delay, or we're 1 week behind because of vendor approvals. I've pushed the launch by a week. No action needed from you unless you want a different risk trade-off. Decision, impact, first. Then if they ask, what happened with the vendor, you give them 30 seconds of context, not a novel. This is also where AI is changing the game. Any junior can paste a transcript into a tool and spit out a long, detailed summary. That's not scarce anymore. What's scarce is the person who can compress. So what? What decision? Why now? If your updates don't answer those 3 questions in the first 1 to 2 sentences, you're giving too much detail. I made a video to show you exactly how to rewrite a wall of text into a crisp executive update. But for now, write this on a sticky note next to your screen. Decision first, detail only if asked. This is what makes you sound like someone your VP wants in the room, not someone they can replace with a report. You don't need to become a different person. You don't need a new personality. You need to shift a few key patterns in how you speak and write. I know some of you are thinking, okay, but what do I actually say instead? That's exactly what I cover in the next video. I break down 10 specific phrases that make you sound like you're a replaceable employee. Click to watch that now. I'll see you over there.